Hey, good afternoon. It's Rita coming to you from Yoga Under the Palms. I'm going to move my mat back a little bit so you'll be able to see me. Today we're doing a reset and restore class. And I encourage you to just go at your own pace, listen to your body, and do what's going to empower you. We don't go by no pain, no gain. So don't push. Sometimes yoga is uncomfortable, but we don't push past discomfort. I need to change the angle of the camera a little bit. So go ahead and start in a supine Baddha Konasana. So lie back, bring your feet up, knees together, and then let them fall out. Left palm is on your chest, and right hand is on your belly. Inflating your, and then the chest, and then let everything fall. Keep moving your deep belly breaths, first into your right hand, and then the chest. Bring your awareness to all the parts of your body that are touching the mat. The knife edge of the feet, the glutes, the mid-back, shoulders, upper arms, the back of your head, and just ground down to the mat, connecting your little piece of earth, your body, to the larger planet Earth. Keep moving your breath. Scan your body and notice where there's tension. And bring your breath into any areas that are talking. And just let go of anything that's occurred so far today. And allow yourself to give yourself the gift of this practice. Scan your feet and your shins and your knees. Letting everything release out of your body. Scanning the thighs, the hips, the glutes, the belly, the mid-back, chest, shoulders, releasing, relaxing down to the upper arms and the elbows, the forearms, wrists, palms, and fingers. Come back to your neck and in through the back of your skull, the sides of your head, and the front of your face. Releasing down. We're going to slowly start to move. Bring your legs together like a book and bring the feet out long, pointing the toes and arms overhead for a long body stretch. And while you're here, just wiggle out the hips a little bit, get a little play. Gently side to side. And then come to stillness. Wiggle your fingers, roll out the ankles. Whatever movement you feel called to in this moment. And then option to roll the head side to side. And coming into banana pose, bring the right toes to the lower right hand corner of the mat and the left toes to meet, and bring your right fingertips to the upper right-hand corner and the left fingertips in grip with your right hand, keeping your left side of your body on the mat. You form a banana and you get this long body stretch down the left side all the way from your left fingertips to your left toes. And come through center, long stretch, and move the toes and the fingers to the lower and upper left-hand corners of the mat, keeping the right side of the body on the mat. Relaxing the face, a little smile if you feel like it can always bring some ease to your yoga. Of course, the breath always in and out through the nose brings much ease as well. Coming back through center. Hug the knees to the chest. And roll out your body side to side. Rolling out the back. You can kind of come onto your elbow or just to the upper arm, and then head back to the other side. Gentle side rolls. And now roll down towards your right glute and roll the tailbone out and come over onto your left glute and across the mid-back, making circles. And now switch directions. Coming on to the left hip, the tailbone, the right hip, mid-back. Come through center, lower the knees, and cross your left leg over your right for a seated figure 4. Option to keep your foot on the ground or interlace the fingers underneath the right knee as you feel that stretch in your left hip, and send your breath into your left hip. Now, release your fingertips if they're engaged. Bring your arms into a capital T. Now we're going to lower the foot to the side. Come back through center and lower the knee for a little supine twist. So I consider this class to be like yogic dessert. And it's a dessert with no calories, but only pure liquid enjoyment. And the next time you come through center, lower the right foot, uncross the left, lower the left leg, come into your supine figure 4 with the right leg over the left. And then option to interlace your fingers below the knee and pull the knee gently towards the body. And gently release. Capital T with the arms. And we're going to go side to side. Foot to knee. Foot to knee. Just feeling that lovely opening in the back. Come back through center and bring your foot back to the floor, to the mat. And we're going to windshield wiper the legs. You can keep your arms on the capital T. Just gently opening up the hips. Coming back through center, hug the knees to the chest, curl the forehead to the knees. And bring the arms out in a capital T. And we're going to gently lower both knees to the left for a gentle supine twist. Arms are in the capital T, the legs are to the left, and the eyes are to the right. Trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. You can wiggle your fingers. Moving the breath. And gently come back through center. And often your back, you may hear your back align as you come over to the other side. Looking over your left shoulder, knees are to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat. Come back through center and bend the knees and grab the outsides of your feet or the insides for happy baby. An option to kickstand off one knee as you straighten the other leg. An option to add the fluttering breath during this pose. It's exactly what babies do, isn't it? Coming through center, straighten both legs, palms on the mat. Just engage those legs from the sits bones to your flexed feet, stretching the legs long. And lower the legs, engaging the abs. We're going to do some breath work that combines a little bit of ab work. Inhaling, let the belly rise, let the lower back come off the mat gently. Stick the belly out. Exhale. It's kind of like a supine cat-cow. Lower the spine to the mat, the mid-spine, and pull the abs towards the organs, towards the spine. Inhale, pressing up, really sticking your stomach out. Exhale. Curling the spine to the mat, super hyper engaging the abs. And just going at your own pace. And moving into fish pose. Come up onto your elbows and bring your hands palm facing down under your glutes. Lower onto your elbows. And the more closer your hands are under your glutes, the more likely you may be able to get the top of your head to the mat. Bring the shoulder blades together. Open the front of the throat. And slowly, gently come up into a seated pose. From here, we're going to do a seated cat-cow. Exhale, leaning back, pulling the abs towards the organs, towards the spine. Inhaling, leading with the collarbone, shoulder blades back and down. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you lean back and empty all the air out of your belly as you hyper-engage your abs. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, feel that stretch between the shoulder blades. Coming forward and leaning back. Then come into a boat. I'll call it a baby boat pose. From here, we're going to open to the side. So bring your right hand back, left hand forward, and then switch. Opening the chest to the left side of the wall. And coming back through center, open your chest to the right side. Sweep your arm and open to the left. Coming back through center, lean back, and we're gently going to lift and touch the toes. And come back into a gentle boat, leaning back, feeling the stretch between the shoulder blades, feeling the abs engaged. And come into a cross-legged seat. Bringing the hands to the knees, and we're going to roll out the spine. And you can bring your whole body into this, the shoulders, the spine. Kind of bring like a cat-cow to this. And switch directions. Come back to stillness. Feel yourself grounding down through your sits bones and the crown of your head reaching towards the sky. Nice, beautiful, long, healthy spine with like a string going through it, creating the perfect amount of space between each disc and vertebrae and the perfect amount of flow for the synovial fluid. Now gently look to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. So let your breath dictate your movement, inhaling to the center. And when you come back to center, drop the chin to the chest and just let the back of your neck open up. Let the shoulders drop down. And now gently roll your right ear to your right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder. Inhaling when you have ear to shoulder. Exhale, center. Inhale, side. Very gentle, loving movement on the neck. So I have this saying I heard recently. It's today's curses can be tomorrow's blessings. And I love that saying. And now next time your right here gets to your right shoulder, we're going to do full circles. And I love that saying. How many times have we gone through something that was really difficult only to find that it's given us amazing strength and abilities in the future? So now switch directions, full rolling out with the neck. And come to stillness. Bring the hands in front of your chest. Inhale the arms out and open. Exhale, give yourself a little hug. Maybe say, I love you. So every cell in your body vibrates with the frequency of love. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, a little hug. And one more on each side. Bringing the hands back. And hug. And one more. And now coming into, we're going to open up the backs of our arms. So bring your left hand and your left arm up and bend your left hand between your shoulder blades and bring your right hand to your elbow to press down and get some opening in the back of that upper arm. And now option for seated, the arm portion of seated cow face pose by bringing your right arm underneath behind your back of your hand on between the shoulder blades, interlacing the fingers. Option to stay right in the first part of the pose. And now release the hands and bend the right arm and bring the left to grab that elbow. Head like right in line. And now option to bring that left hand behind, interlacing the fingers. And a lot of people kind of will close down in this, but again, we're grounding down from the sits bones, reaching up with the crown of the head as we open up. And release and bring the right hand to the mat and lift up with the left arm. And we're going to flow through these half moons at our own pace. I just invite you to enjoy moving through your own space, feeling what it's like to be uniquely you. Maybe play with that smile on your face. And now come to stillness on the right palm and roll out the left wrist. And roll it up the other way. And coming back onto your left hand and roll out the right wrist. And switch directions. And wiggle the fingers. And let's lower down and wiggle the fingers on the other side. And let's come into log pose. In log pose, you're placing your shins like two fire logs. So start with the left foot, the left shin, just nice and squared to the front of you, and then bring the right foot over and place that shin on top of the other one like a log. So you have left knee, right foot, left knee. And we're going to inhale up here and do a supine twist, right hand behind, left in front. So feel both of those sits bones remaining on the mat, inhaling the crown to the sky, And exhaling, looking over your shoulder, inhaling up, exhale, twist, inhale up, exhale, twist. And then bring both arms up, wiggle the fingers, and then come right hand in the front, left hand in the back, reaching from those grounded sits bones to the crown. Inhaling up, exhale, turn, chin over the shoulder, inhale up, exhale, turn. Inhale up, exhale, turn. And then both arms up, one more on each side. Feel that spine elongate. Feel yourself looking over your shoulder like you do when you're backing up a car. Inhaling up. Ground down, reach. And look over. Coming back through center. And let's grab our fingertips and just move side to side. And hands down. And now let's switch our feet. So now we're going to bring our right foot on the bottom and the left on the top. And the legs are like two fire logs. Inhale the arms up. And we're going to bring the hands forward. And gently walk forward. Getting a little stretch in the hip. Moving the breath. And gently walk back and open the right arm up so the chest opens to the right side of the room. And ground down your right hand and open up with the left. Coming back through center, coming back down. Gently walking back. We're going to switch one more time so we can stretch out the right hip in the same manner, walking forward. And just working wherever is best for you, always comparing our own progress, our own poses to our own poses rather than anyone else. And gently walk back. And bring the shoulders up to the ears and drop them back down so the chest is heart is nice and open. Bring them up and open. Up and open. And now let's do a chest opener. We're going to interlace our fingers behind our back and gently lift up, getting a nice chest opener. And if you want, you can drop your head back. Letting the front of the face relax. And if you like, you can stick your tongue out. Get a little pop out of your jaw. And lower the wrist. And one more time, stretching out the front of the chest, opening it up. Chest opener and lower. Back down. And now bring your feet in front of you and just feel from your flexed feet all the way to your sits bones. And then, so you're forming a right angle here. I'm kind of a math nerd, so I love how yoga brings us into geometry. So we're basically doing geometry with our bodies. So we've got this long line from the legs and this long line of the spine. Nice and tall. Even though it might not feel like you're doing anything, this is quite an active pose. And now we're going to option to bend the knees. We're going to inhale the arms up and do a forward fold. You can bring your hands onto the front of your feet and then walk out on your sits bones, lean to the left, walk to the right, lean to the right, walk to the left, pulling forward. So if you need a little more stretch, you can bring your elbows out to the sides. If you need less, just bend the knees. Perfectly fine wherever you're working. And bring the top of the head to the feet. folding the chest and belly onto the fronts of the legs. And now gently straddle the legs out and just kind of play side to side. Kind of play with the torso, the waist, rolling side to side. And now lower to your left side. Lowering your option to bend the knee here again, perfectly fine. And just lower where you're working and bring that loving kindness for where you're at. And take your right hand and grab your left toes and look under your arm. And inhaling up and coming to the other side. Hands to the foot. Option to bend the knee. And now left hand to the right foot and look under your arm. And gently come up. Hands to the shins. Feel that chest opening, the shoulders coming back and down. You can kind of play out on your legs and your sits bones. And now we're going to lower forward wherever you're working. And gently walk the hands back. And we're going to come into a tabletop. Bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders and the hips, the knees underneath the hips. Drop the belly and lead with the collarbone. Exhale. Pull the belly towards the organs, towards the spine. Halloween cat back. Curl your chin to your chest. Inhaling up. Exhale, curl. And this is just a wonderful pose to kind of bring whatever movement your body's calling you for into the pose. Inhaling up, exhaling, curling. Keep going at your own pace. Now, option to bring some hip circles into the movement. Inhale as you come forward, exhale as you come back. And switch directions. Come to center. And now we'll do hip circles towards the ankles. And just give yourself whatever movement your body is asking for in this moment. And switch directions. Keep moving your circle. Come to stillness. And now we're going to bring the right foot out. We're in our tabletop just with the right foot out. And bring your hip to your heel. And we're just going to rock back and forth, hip to heel, hip square over knee. And you may feel that on the inside of your thigh. Keep the right foot firmly on the ground. Come to stillness. Now bring your left hand to about a foot from your left knee in front of it. And now we're going to bring the right arm over for a supported side plank. And stretch those fingertips. And now we're going to circle the arms. And switch directions. And last big circle. And now we'll come back into our cat-cow pose. And bring the left foot out. So the foot is flat on the ground, leg length from the hip. And we'll rock back and forth. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. 2 more. Come back to neutral. Now bring your right hand about a foot from your right knee and inhale the left arm up for a supported side plank. Feel that extension all the way down your left side body. Now big circles in one direction. Now just feel your kind intentions slipping into the body. Now switch directions. And come back into the cat-cow. Bring the knees out wide and push into a child's pose. Now here, option to really engage the arms or just rest the elbows on the mat and gently roll side to side on your forehead. Moving your breath, and push the hips back to the heels. And just give yourself whatever you need in this moment of your child's pose. And take the right arm and thread the needle. Pull the arm through, come onto your right shoulder and the side of your face. Keep the hips back down to the heels. And the left arm can come forward, or you can come into a half bind, bringing the fingertips into the crease of the right hip. And now bring the left hand back in front of you. And bring the right back out, and we're gonna thread the left, coming onto the side of the left side of your face. Right arm reaches, or it comes back in a bind into the left hip crease. Hips are pushing back to the heels. And come back into your child's pose. Now, option to bring the hands together, thumbs to the nape of the neck, and walk your elbows forward for a stretch under the arms. Moving your breath. Now lower the hands back down. Bring the knees together for embryo pose and bring the hands behind the feet. Grabbing the outsides of the ankles and bring the ankles together. Feel your shoulders, the space between your shoulder blades opening. And if you want to take this a little further, you can curl into rabbit. But be very careful. You only want to have a tiny % of your weight on your head and neck, coming onto the top of the head, holding the ankles, you roll up. You can walk the knees forward. Ankles stay together. And this gives traction down the whole spine. Sometimes you can get a little warm heat coming up the spine from this. And slowly come up. And come back into your child's pose. And from here, we're going to flow into an up dog, lowering the shoulders, lifting the legs off the ground, and back into child's pose. And flowing into your up dog. Keep taking the legs off. Only the tops of the feet are touching. Shoulders come back and down. Knees to the side, pushing back. And one more. Option for a baby cobra here if you prefer. Pushing the heels back to the hips. Now gently come out of your child's pose. We're going to lay on our back, doing a rolling bridge. So in this pose, we walk the feet towards the hips. You can actually touch your ankles with your fingertips. Tilt the pelvis up as the spine begins to lift up one vertebrae at a time. And then inch the shoulders under, or not, option there. And lower one vertebrae at a time. And then as your booty gets down, tilt your pelvis forward like you're pouring out a bowl of water. And then scoop up the water as you bring the pelvis up. Come onto your shoulders. And just go at your own pace. This rolling bridge just gives each vertebrae a chance to move in a very subtle, flowing way that's very gentle. So pour out your water, scoop up more as you come up. Lower back down. Bring the legs long for a long body stretch. You can clasp your hands above you and open. Bring the elbows out to the sides, opening the chest and arms and the rib cage. And gently roll onto your belly. You can have your arms in front of you for windshield wipers. Bend the knees and bring the feet side to side. Come to stillness and moving into half frog. Going to bring the right leg forward. I might need to turn so you can see. Come forward with the right knee and bring the left ear to the mat. You can rest your head in your hands. It's a gentle opening of the right hip. This is half frog. Now switch legs, straighten the right leg, and bring the left leg up to a right angle. Pushing both hips to the mat gently, and just gently letting your body unfold where it works for the body today. No forcing, only allowing. And bring the leg back. Long body stretch. Come into a baby cobra. Hands underneath the shoulders, lifting up. And lower down. Bring the arms to your sides, looking to the right. And hand palms underneath the shoulders. Engage the legs. Tops of the toes are touching, but the legs are so engaged, and that line of energy between the legs is so engaged that you just have this connection. And now breathe in and lift up, looking up. And lower down and look to the left. Bring your arms to your sides. And windshield out the wiper out the legs. Come to stillness, bring your chin to the mat, and just grab your feet behind you. We're not going to move into a full pose here, but we're just going to grab the feet and feel the gentle opening. And release the feet and push back onto your knees for a gentle camel, just a very gentle camel. Hands on the backs of the hips like you're putting them in your back pockets. Drop the head back, push the pelvis forward. Nothing too intense like grabbing your ankles, just Gentle chest opener, a little tiny back bend, and come into child's pose. And if you like, you can gently rock side to side with your hips. Come to stillness. One more up dog. Shifting your weight forward onto your wrists, engaging the legs so they lift off, keeping the shoulders out of the ears. Beautiful. And push back to child's pose. An option here to do a half bind with your right hand and your left hip crease, and maybe look up to the right side of the room. And bring both arms long. An option for half bind with the left fingertips and the right hip crease looking up. Back into child's pose and moving into embryo. Bring the knees together and hold your ankles. And slowly come onto your back. Moving into little gentle hip circles. Maybe a happy baby. Whatever your body's calling for you in this moment. This is kind of your free time. I'll offer suggestions, but free time to just bring whatever movements are wanted in the last couple minutes of class before we move into Shavasana. Perhaps a gentle lifting of the legs, maybe coming forward to a plow, lowering back down. Perhaps a supine twist, arms out to your sides, bringing the knees to the left, looking over the right shoulder, relaxing the face. And come back through center and come over to the right and look over the left shoulder. Coming back through, hug the knees to the chest and long body stretch. And moving into Shavasana. If you have any wiggles left, you can wiggle out your hips or wiggle the fingertips and the toes or the ankles, and then settle into your Shavasana. Letting your body sink to the mat. Feeling it supported by the earth. You can scan your body for any tension, or just scan for the difference post-yoga. Send your breath into your fingers and everything in between. Send your breath to your toes and everything in between. Send your breath to your fingers and your toes. Feel yourself sinking down. Send your breath to every single cell in the body. Letting everything melt down, all your clay melt to the mat. And I leave you in Shavasana. You're welcome to stay in your Shavasana. I want to say namaste. Thank you for joining me today. It was lovely to be here with you. Namaste. Option to stay in your Shavasana.